Hi guys, welcome back to the Sicilian Revival. My name is Chris, aka Big Will, and today we have two big home games. Today we have AS Roma first and foremost, and then we follow it up with a really big game against Juventus. As you can see from the league table, we've just dropped to second place behind AC Milan. We've got more points on the board than we did last season, and we've already scored more goals than we did last season as well. From a defensive perspective, we've been outstanding. However, we did lose out in our previous match, which was against Lazio. It's only our third defeat of the season. We gave reasonable account of ourselves, but Lazio really took the game to us in the opening quarter of an hour and scored twice very quickly. We ended up getting back into the game quickly though. We ended up at 2-2 just 10 minutes later, but they did manage to get a goal in the second half, and unfortunately we couldn't pull it back. But in terms of recent form since you were last with us, obviously you were there for the game against Barry. Um, we saw the game against Bologna, sorry, and we saw the result against Barry. We followed it up with a 1-0 win away at Genoa and a 2-0 win at home against Reggiana. And again, defensively, we continue to be pretty strong. Obviously, the game against Lazio, a bit of an anomaly, but again, we gave good account of ourselves. We got ourselves a couple of goals. It was just unfortunate that we couldn't um, get the other side of that game and come out with any points. But in terms of league defeats, we've only lost to Juventus, Inter Milan, and Lazio, and I think overall we can be pretty pleased with that being the case. We drew 0-0 with them in the home game, and it ended up being a close game once again. Going into these two games, obviously we've got the likes of AC Milan coming up as well. This could define exactly where we are in terms of a ridiculously potential title race. If we can get any results in these two games, I think we're going to be uh, pretty good going forward. I mean, we have got tough games still after this. Like I say, AC Milan away from home. We've also got Inter Milan at home, and then in the last month of the season, we've got Atalanta and Napoli. Fiorentina are a tough one as well. Como, I should expect us to do well against, but Brianza again, they're sat in a Champions League spot at the moment. That's another big game, so we've got a lot to get through. But with the way our season's going, I feel very, very comfortable. And it's completely bizarre. I don't understand how we're doing this, if truth be told, but one way or another, we are. And it's going extremely well for the most part. Rivera's still our long term absentee. Kamasa ended up with a virus, so he's been missing out as well. He missed the game against Lazio. He comes into the side today. Fortunately, he can play against Roma. It is his parent club, but he can play against them. So we'll see exactly how things go there. We're going to give Paul an opportunity in the central midfield today as well from the start. And we've just got to go out there and try and get the job done. And if we can get any points today against Roma, then obviously the game against Juventus, it's basically a free hit. We're 6 points ahead of Juventus in the league, believe it or not. And I honestly can't believe I'm saying that we're in a potential title race. We need to get some good results in these two games. Don't get me wrong, but I think if we get a win here against Roma and then follow it up with anything against Juventus, I think we've got to admit to ourselves that we are. I mean, we know we're performing above expectation anyway, but we've got to admit that we may be in the title race. I can't believe how well we've done this season, but obviously the telling fixtures are coming up, so we're going to have to be very, very careful. And Yao Felix is in the penalty area here, plays it back to Lugsden. It's in off the side of the post, and I thought it had gone in, but it hadn't. And we escape an early disadvantage there. Kamasa into Morone, and now Mamadou Ba. What a season he's having, by the way. He's really taken the reins to become one of the key men in that attack. He's just scored his 50th goal for the club as well. So everything is positive at the moment. Can we go out there and get ourselves ahead in this game? Conveyed it into Bangora, lays it across to Robertson. There is Paul, and I mean, I thought it had flown in for a moment. It actually must have just gone over or wide, and very unlucky, if truth be told. It remains 0-0. Roma, probably the better side so far. They've edging the number of chances. Possession-wise is quite even as well. I'm going to offer a bit of encouragement. The lad's not really getting into the game at the moment. hopefully we can create a few opportunities. Kamasa's not having a good game, but he is still recovering from a virus that he's had. And overall, it's a disappointing first half. We'll keep an eye on Kamasa, but he's certainly not looking particularly good at the moment. But this is a midweek fixture as well, right in the middle of this run-in that we do have. Obviously, the defeat to Lazio was unfortunate, but hopefully we can go out there today and find a better result. Kamasa's actually had a shocking game today, so David Sente is going to come on for him. I mean, Paul's had a poor game. Mamadou Bar's struggling for fitness, so Higo can come on that right-hand side. Morone, again, he's not having a good game either, but we're just struggling a little bit. There's going to be a debut for Alessandro Uva at left back. He's not had an opportunity to come on as of yet, if truth be told. So we'll see how he does. And in relation to the midfield, we're going to get Coliseko on for Moise Vlad-Pog just because he's had a shocking game. We'll save one substitution. And we'll offer a little bit more encouragement because at the minute, we haven't even had a shot on target. It's been quite a poor performance. And I'm just wondering if the tide's just starting to turn in our form. We're going to demand more now as well, and we'll just make another substitution. I mean, Seiko's been on the pitch for minutes and he's already been booked. A couple of players struggling for fitness as well. We'll get Schiappi on for Kumbedi, who's just struggling for his fitness as well. Martinez here with a free kick, whips it in toward that far post. Andre doing well to clear. Uva furthers it away. Morone couldn't beat Carroll to the ball, but the clearance is poor, and David Senti picks it up. And we've got an opportunity maybe here, but again, there was no support there. And all of a sudden, Roma have turned it over, and Janssen is in, and he lays it across on a plate for Yao Felix, and we are behind. I really hope that this run of fixtures doesn't completely derail our season that we've had so far, but it's looking likely that it could do. And again, we're going to demand more because it's been a very lackluster performance. And unfortunately, this could be the telling part of the season where we just fall at the important stages of the campaign. The fact that we've started to concede goals isn't ideal either. And we played particularly poorly there. It's probably our worst home performance of the season. And with Juventus and AC Milan having a game in hand, could potentially be throwing away this title race. But at the same time, it's a set of tough fixtures. We know that we did have a feeling eventually that it would happen, but it's just unfortunate that it's happening a little bit later in the campaign. I'd rather it happened a little earlier. The game against Juventus is only in a few days' time, but just bear with me. We'll come back for that one, and hopefully we can at least perform a little bit better. Juventus, notoriously, have got a number on us at the moment. Let's see if we can turn that around. Okay, guys, here we go for the home game against Juventus. As things stand, AC Milan actually lost 2-1 to Atalanta, and things are just starting to bunch up a little bit in the Champions League places at the moment. Juventus will still have a game in hand over us, so if we lose today and then they win their game in hand, then they will be right on top of us, basically. We do have a game in hand over Inter Milan. They've just won their game recently, and this is that game in hand. So there's a 6-point gap to them already, a further 2 points to Brianza, with a further point and another point to Atalanta and Napoli. So it's just tightening up a little bit, and we have got to be a little bit careful. After losing just 2 games this season, we've ended up losing our last 2 matches on top of that against Lazio and Roma. It could be that we lose 3 in a row. We'll see how things go today. I suspect that Juventus may well have the beating of us. The likes of Toklamati's having a phenomenal season. Likewise, Dusan Vlahovic. So it's going to be a big ask, this one. And hopefully we can just go out there and put in a good performance and hope for the best. If we can get a point today, I will be very, very happy. In all honesty, because like I say, Juventus have beaten us consistently whenever we've played them. In relation to a title challenge, I'm still undecided. It's very, very odd. I mean, we're nowhere near good enough to be doing what we're doing, put it that way. And yet we find ourselves in this position. And I mean, Juventus are hitting the woodwork right at the very start of the game. They're 15 minutes gone, and that should have been 1-0 to Juve there. But, you know, we're putting ourselves in a great position. And even if we lose every game for the rest of the campaign, we've still done very, very well. Vlahovic winning the header there, unfortunately, at the far post, and giving Juventus the lead from a corner. And once again, it looks like we could be in for a game of struggle against Juventus. Mamadou Ba picks it up. He needs support, though, and he's not got it. He tried to lay it back, and Tokolamati very easily dispossessing us. And Morone lofting it over the top for Mamadou Ba. It's great control, and he's managed to finish it well. I think he's onside. There's no check. We've drawn level instantly. That is very, very good work from our lads. And Mamadou Ba continues his remarkable run of form as well. Tokolamati losing out to Morone. What a ball over the top that was. Bar's run, time to perfection. The pass was time to perfection. Not too sure what the goalkeeper was doing, if truth be told. But we'll certainly take it. And we draw ourselves level here. They're just showing the highlight again for the title side. Blimey. It was incredibly tight. But there was no VAR check on there or anything. And we draw ourselves level instantly. So not too bad. Hopefully we can continue in that manner. We're keeping the game quite tight, but possession-wise, we need to get a bit more of the ball. We used to control in possession in a lot of matches at the moment, but right now we need to just pick up the pace a little bit. Stammer's coming down this right-hand side, though, for Juventus. Good tackle from Musto, but he's left them completely open again, and it was a half-hearted challenge, and Vlahovic, from 2 yards out, makes it 2-1. And it's a very, very simple finish, and again, he seems to have a number on us. He did the damage against us in the previous match this season. It finished 3-1. And Morone's been brought down by Bremer here, potentially. It seemed like a soft one, if truth be told. But if we can get a penalty here, we'd certainly take it. They're checking for the penalty. I don't think it was a penalty. He didn't even go to ground, but he was buffeted. And the penalty has been awarded. A huge opportunity for us here. And it's Mamadou Ba to potentially get his second goal of the game. And he's going toe-to-toe with Vlahovic if he can put this away. Mamadou Ba converts the penalty. It's 2-2. And it's a massive game, this. Like I say, if we can get a result here, confidence will be through the roof. It still is through the roof anyway. But if we can get some kind of a result here, we are definitely proving that we are mixing it with the best in Serie A. It's just a case of whether we can win the games that we're supposed to around these fixtures. And it's going to be tough. AC Milan's next up, of course, as well. And Morone controls it superbly there. Vasic back to Morone, plays it in, and Cambiasso vitally got his head to that. Bangora into Higo. Mamadou Ba. It's a deflected strike, and it's a hat-trick for Mamadou Ba, potentially. It was a huge deflection. It must have been on target initially because they looked like they're going to give it to Mamadou Ba. And it's been awarded. We take the lead, and Mamadou Ba has been awarded the hat-trick here. It was a huge deflection. He came back. What a deflection that is. It must have been on target to start with, but of course, Marquinhos took a step to his right to try and make that save initially. And again, oh my word, the tightest of offside margins once again. It's a huge deflection, like I say. And we take the lead. It's very much against the run of play. I think Juventus have been the better side, but we've kept it close. And Mamadou Ba, again, started to really show his true colours at the moment. And we need to just tighten things up, I think, at the back. Kambadi's having a poor game. It's something that... It's a strange one with Kambadi. He's got a lot of quality, but he does keep putting in these performances where he's just not doing anything for the team. It's very, very bizarre. Obviously, we are winning the game, but at the same time, we are conceding a few more goals recently. And it is a bit of a concern because our defensive record was the best in the league before these last few matches. And Dusan Vlahovic could have scored his hat-trick here as well. I'm pretty sure he was onside, and that'll be 3-3. Oh, it's been disallowed. He was offside. So we get away with one again, but again, defensively, we're not looking quite as tight. And he's dropping down and down, Sale Kambadi at the moment. I think, to be honest, we'll give Marco Verratti a run out at right back. He's not had too much game time recently with the signing of Andre in there. he's just struggling a little bit to get into the side a bit more. We'll just confirm the one substitution for now. I think hopefully that will give us a bit more solidity at the back. Kumbedi, like I say, has had a poor game today. And Bangora and Higo are struggling for fitness now as well. I don't want to really change both of our central midfield players. Vasic is struggling as well, so Uva can come on for him. And we're going to have to make the changes in midfield. Jonathan Roberts and Moise Vlad Paul can come on. And if nothing else, it's just to have energy in that midfield. If we can hold on to this, it's a huge result if we can hold on. There's still a long way to go, but it's been a very even game. Juventus have had more of the ball, don't get me wrong, but we are looking reasonable, if nothing else. We're running with the ball toward the far post. It's well headed away. It's fallen from Mamadou Bar to Simone Musto, and that is a thunderous hit from the holding midfielder. It's only his third goal of the season. He has dropped out of the team a little bit more recently, and we are 4-2 up here against Juventus. What a performance. And after 2 defeats in a row, this is a huge result. A huge result in our potential title aspirations. And I mean, there's a few players that are struggling for fitness again, and we'll just pause there for a moment. I mean, we can only make one more change anyway, as it so happens. But I mean, Mamadou Ba, he scored a hat trick, and he's got an assist as well. Mlakar can come on for the last few minutes. What a performance we've seen here from the boys today. It's been a very close game in relation to chances, and possession-wise, we've actually closed it up toward the end of the game. But that is a huge win from our point of view. It's a massive confidence booster, and Vlahovic having his hat-trick goal disallowed as well would probably have spearheaded that confidence boost as well. But what a goal from Simone Musto to complete the victory. And am I ready to admit it? Am I ready to admit that we're in a title race? There's 11 games to go. AC Milan have got a game in hand as of Juventus, but obviously having beaten Juventus, we are still 6 points clear of them if they win that game in hand. If AC Milan win their game in hand, then they go above us. We are up against AC Milan next. I mean, am I going to admit it? I might wait until the next episode. The fact that we're even doing this with the squad that we have is mental, to be quite honest. And I think that's why I'm still a little bit loath to put the gauntlet down and say, yes, this is it. We are in a title race. We'll see how these next 4 games go. We've got 2 huge games in the next episode. Inter Milan at home and Brianza away. And then we go into the last 2 games of the season against Napoli and Como. Inter and Brianza coming up tomorrow. That could be the episode where we decide whether we are fully in this title race or not. What an opportunity we could have, though, for this season. So until next time, guys, thank you very much for all your support. Please like, subscribe to the channel. It is all greatly appreciated. I will see you all next time. This is Big Will, signing away.